Hey guys, it's Carl, the Golfing Realtor at Team CCJ at 72 Sold. Just wanted to give you a quick July 2022 market update because the market is changing faster than we've ever seen it, and you need to know what's going on. So I'm just going to spit out some statistics that are painting a picture of what's happening in this declining, approaching recession market. Okay, so first of all, inventory is up 13.2% in the past 2 weeks nationally. So supply and demand, there's much more supply, but that is not actually caused by an increase of motivated sellers. It's actually caused by a decrease in buyer demand. Buyers are out of the market, so there's not many buyers out there. Sellers are coming onto the market a little bit faster than before because I think they want to capture that equity that they've acquired over the last 2 years, but not by alarming rates. It's actually the alarming rate there is the decrease of buyer demand. Showings are down 24% this time last year. So 24% decline in showings that are measured by lock boxes all over the nation. Right now, I remember last video I said 30%. Once we have 30% of homes doing a price cut, that means we're in a balanced market. We're already there. 30% has been hit, and it's approaching, the trajectory is approaching 40% in the next month. So it's going to be shifted from even a buyer's market right now, which is a balanced market, to even more to a buyer's market in the next couple months. Rent versus buying statistics. Right now, it's much less to rent than to buy given the current interest rates and pricing of homes. In fact, on average, it's $839 more to buy a house right now per month than to rent. That's a 30% increase in the average amount of expenses that a family incurs. So a year ago is actually equivalent to rent versus buying, or even it was cheaper to buy than to rent just over a year ago. So the market has shifted a lot in 1 year. And so overall, the prices are declining at a much faster rate than the decline in 2007 or 2008, which is really crazy. But we've seen this bull market be extended, I think artificially extended, for way longer than we're usually seeing in the 7 to 10 year cycle. Right now it's 2022, and we had a crash in the 07-08 era, so we're approximately 15 years due for a market cycle to repeat. Right now, I even think it's artificially being disrupted, but the job markets have not really seen the recession that we're seeing in the housing market. So that hasn't caught up yet. So what this means if you're a buyer, right now is a great time to buy if you're a price conscious buyer. Some buyers were a monthly cash flow buyer, which is totally okay. There's no right or wrong way to purchase. But right now, if you're a price conscious buyer and you understand that in the next year or two, you're able to refi out of these high interest rates, you can get a deal. We're seeing concessions start popping up on offers again. So buyers are asking for concessions to help buy down rates and help with closing costs. So if you're a buyer and you only have the down payment set aside, this might be a good time to look into buying. And if you still have a good job and you're able to get qualified for a loan, this is a great time to buy. And you're able to negotiate lower prices. You're also not having to do shorter inspections. You're not having to do appraisal waivers. And you can eventually refi into a lower rate, lowering your monthly payment in the next year or two. Right now is just really tough because the feds have raised interest rates so high, and they even talked about raising it another 0.75% before the end of the year. So right now we're in the low sixes, so that's going to get up to 7 or maybe just over 7% if they do what they're forecasting that they want to do. Sellers still have a substantial amount of equity in their home if they purchased over 2 years ago. That works well because if you owned a home as the owner occupant, you don't pay any capital gains tax if you have occupied the home for 2 years or more. So you have a lot of equity in there if you purchased 2 years or more ago. And also, you just have to keep in mind now as a seller, those comparables that you're looking at from 3 to 6 months ago are going to actually be higher than what you're going to be able to sell at right now. So you're going to have a good price and a really good process. 72 Sold, we have those statistics covered and the process covered. It has to be right. It's not too late. If you have a reason to sell, do it now, because 2 to 3 months later, you're going to be kicking yourself for not doing it if you have a reason to sell. If you don't have a reason to sell, you should never do anything based out of fear. selling is a business-like decision, and you have to mitigate your risk. You have to lower the downside while increasing the upside. 72 Sol, you're never obligated to sell your house, and you get to see what top of the market price is within 2 weeks. iBuyers, be extremely cautious of iBuyers if you're a seller. You do not want to accept an offer from an OfferPad or Open Door right now because they are not closing on many of the contracts because of how quickly the market is shifting. In fact, they're leaving sellers to dry, and they're even, in best case scenario, they're shifting their price down as a market change as close to 1 to 2 days before closing, which is terrible because sellers, if they already have the moving truck packed, if they already got another place to go, they have to suck it up and take that price cut just 2 days before closing. Now, worst case scenario, which is happening a lot, is they just cancel on you and they forfeit their $1,000 or $2,000 in earnest money, and now you're going to have to restart the whole 30 to 40 day process of selling again to find a new buyer. And if you already have the moving truck packed up and ready to go, it's a terrible position to be in. So sellers, beware of accepting an offer from these iBuyers. Right now, they have way more inventory for sale than they do under contract, and they're desperate. So if you're a buyer and you see a Zillow home, an OfferPad, an Open Door home, if you look into the tax records, a lot of them are selling for much less than they bought it just 2 to 3 months ago. They're trying to get rid of inventory. So if you're a buyer, be on the lookout at that. They are in desperate need to get rid of inventory. That in itself is going to increase the amount of supply in the market and put you in a better buying position. So if you're a buyer, reach out, see what we can do for you. It's a great time to negotiate closing costs back, and again, in 1 to 2 years, you can refi out of that high monthly payment, and you're going to be very happy where you're sitting. If you're a seller and you have a reason to sell, it's not too late. Talk to us. We have a way to get you top of the market offers within 2 weeks, and would love to speak to you about that. If you have any questions about the market in your specific zip code or city, please reach out. Would love to hear from you. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching.